Linda's Pantry, and today I'm going to bring you along for a homemade apple pie. The fall season is the perfect time to have apple pie, and I've already made my pie crust, and the only changes that I did for my pie crust differently is when I do sweet pies, I like to put a little bit of sugar in the pie crust. So 2.5 cups of flour to about 1/2 cup of butter or shortening, or both. This one has both, about half and half. And then you add cold water until you get this dough ball formed, and it just depends on the humidity in the air and all the other factors. A tablespoon of brown sugar and a teaspoon of salt, and that's the extent of that recipe. You cut that flour and shortening in together, add your water, and you're good. And I've got a video on how to make a pie crust, but my pie crust is in the refrigerator getting cold again, and now it's time to do my apples. And for my apple pie, this is what I really love to do. I love Granny Smith apples. I know most people use a Granny Smith, but I also throw in a Honey Crisper too. And so what I've got is an apple corer that's going to help me along with my project. And you just kind of rock this down over the apple until you get this. And then once you've got your apple all out of your gizmo and your core, you can save these. Now I'm going to save the cores for the chickens because they love them. But the peels, what I do with the peels is I save those up and I put them in my dog's homemade dog food. And if you'd like to see, well, it's actually a homemade dog food add-on. I also give them kibble. But if you'd like to see a homemade dog food recipe, leave me a comment in the comment section. Go down and check out all the links that I've left for you. I'll leave a link to one of these little gizmo gadgets and see if there's anything else. Oh, I'll probably leave you a link to my cast iron pie plate as well because it's my favorite pie plate. I just ordered another one, so during the holidays I'll have 2 available to me. They just make a delicious pie. So I'm going to peel these apples all down until I get about 8 to 9 cups. All right, I'm back and I'm ready to put my filling together and roll out my pie dough. So what I've got in this bowl, and it's a bigger bowl, I'm going to need it to mix everything. I've got a cup of brown sugar. Now you could use white sugar if you like, but I think the brown sugar adds that little molasses background. We're going to need some cornstarch, tapioca starch, potato starch, flour, or in my case I'm using clear gel. And it's a modified food starch, so it's going to help thicken it. And I'm going to do 3 heaping tablespoons of that in there. And I'm getting covered with everything. And then I want almost, not quite level, tablespoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Such a warm spice in the fall. It's delicious. And then what I've got here is pumpkin pie spice. Now you could use just plain nutmeg if you wanted. This has got a little bit of everything. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice to this. This is going to make you feel like fall has arrived. Okay, so now we need to just mix that up really good. And I'm just going to do it with a fork. Get it all mixed up, and then our apples can go in and get coated with this. Now it's totally up to you whether you cube your apples or you leave them in slices. I really kind of like to see slices of apple, but like I said, it's a fun little measuring thing here. And try to get about a tablespoon of the lemon juice in there, and that's going to brighten up all the flavors. And then this lemon juice unfortunately did its job. All right, so then you dig down deep and just start folding the sugar mixture over the apples. A little bit of flour down on the board, and know that most of it will end up on you, like it usually does me. And then I'm going to split my dough in half, and this should be plenty of dough for a double pie crust. And kind of tacky, but it should not stick to you. And I just kind of get the disc started and get it rolled out. So let me get this all rolled out and we'll get it in our cast iron pie plate. So as you can see, I've got my pie dough all rolled out and put in my cast iron pie pan. And I'm leaving what's overhanging. I made sure it was plenty big enough to cover the whole thing and have a little bit of an overhang. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our apples in there. And I just wanna tell you that we are so excited about this. Tuck your top crust under your bottom crust, like I'm doing there. And so once I've got my crust all tucked up underneath the bottom crust, then you go through and you can pinch with your fingers. So now I'm going to put an egg wash on, and this is going to help brown your pie. And egg wash, super simple. I just beat up an egg, and it's going to stick my little leaves on too. So go ahead and brush the whole top. You don't have to focus on the outside crust as much because it tends to get brown anyway. Yeah. And you know, I did not put butter inside the pie. I feel like we're getting enough butter in the crust, and I don't think that the added butter is really necessary. Just a little bit of calories you can save here and there over the holidays is always nice. So leave the butter out. You're not going to miss it, trust me. Or put the butter in and you won't miss not having it. Okay, so I've got it all egg washed. And now what I want to do is place my leaves. And what I like to do is I place them right next to where I took the leaf off. Kind of right like it got flipped over. They need to get golden brown as well. And we're going to dust this with sugar. I've got my brown sugar over here, and I just take a handful and just break it up over your pie. Pie is going in a 400-degree oven, and for about 45 to 50 minutes, depending on your oven, and then we'll take it out when it's golden brown and all the apples will have cooked through, and it will be a delicious dessert for tonight's meal. Okay, so our pie is done, and look how beautiful and golden this came out. Look, look, look. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, I'm so proud to show that. So very proud to show that. So I've got some salted caramel that I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle over the top of this, and I'm gonna have my husband give you a taste test. So I'll be right back. So I'm guessing you're pretty excited about apple pie. This is his favorite pie, so that's why I made it for him.
Get it to work.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, it's awesome.
Is that going to make it? Okay, how about the pie crust?
That was part of that night.
Oh, okay. All right. So guys, I hope it inspires you to go ahead and make your own apple pie this fall and make your husband really happy. And as always, guys, I hope it inspires you to check out the next video, subscribe to my channel, and go post everything you like on your Facebook page. All right, guys.
She doesn't make desserts very often.
No, not very often. But when I do, going all out. All right.